guys, it's Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. For today's video, I'm going to do a little repressing slash refrankening video for you guys. I had a lot of things that needed to be repressed, so I figured I would share with you guys. It seems every time I post a repressing update photo on Instagram, people are always asking me how I do it, even though I've already done it several times on camera, and there's probably 100 videos on how to repress things. People still seem to not know how to do it, so I'm gonna do it on camera again. And I'm almost gonna be done with the bronzer that I'm gonna refranken here in a moment. But I have an experiment that I want to do with this shade right here from this Aurora Glow Kit with this purpley shade right here. So we'll see if my theory will pan out or if it'll be a total fail. If it's completely a fail, I'm not gonna post this. I'll cut this out of the video, but if it works, then I'll show it to you guys. But three things I'm gonna refranken for sure are these three right here. The first one is this one from, I think it's a highlighter from, oh yeah, it's two highlighters from these, the Aurora palette, two of them, and the Laura Mercier Glow Transparent Powder. This is my daily highlighter, and I use a very fluffy brush, and it's kind of hard to get the product around the edges, so I just want to bring it to the center and make it easier to use. So that's that one. Then next I have this powder from ColourPop. This is the Pretty Fresh face powder. It's a pressed powder. I don't really like it, to be honest, and I don't really like the packaging. That is how much I have left. Spoilers for a project pan, because this isn't a project pan. But yeah, it's time to repress this guy. And then last but not least, I am going to be refrankening my bronzer that is in my Pan That palette. And that is all that I have left. I really want to finish it before my next update. So I have noticed that I hit side pan there and side pan there. And it's just really hard to get an even amount of product on my brush. So I just want to bring it to the center a little bit more. So those are the three things that I need to refranken for sure. And then my experiment, my experiment with this one will require shades from this Urban Decay's Full Spectrum palette, and maybe possibly the Bare Minerals Quad. I'm thinking about the color Priceless right here. So first, let's get started with these three guys. It'll probably be a voiceover, and because it's gonna take me a while, and I'm just gonna put a movie on my laptop, and let's get frankening. I started first with the powder from ColourPop because it's my skin tone color and I didn't want to mix any other colors. This pan, I think it's reusable because it was very easy to, like, I wasn't even trying to pop it out and it popped out, as you guys saw there a little bit. So I just scraped the edges and I moved all the product to the center, trying to break it down as much as I could. And then once it was kind of all mixed in the center, I added some alcohol and I mixed it in. I went in with a little bit of alcohol, that way I could just get the stuff on the edges to stick to whatever was left, and that way it's easier to bring to the center. But I think I should have added a little bit more powder, more alcohol when it was in the center. As you guys can see, I have it right there, but maybe I should have mixed it a little bit more. I repressed it with my paper towel right there, cleaned it up a little bit, and that was pretty much it for the face powder. Very, very easy. Then I moved over to the highlighter. However, once I broke it down from the product, I noticed it was very hard to move to the center. I think just because the powder itself is a very finely milled product, it was very hard to bring to the center. So I just decided to put it on a paper towel and then put it back onto the packaging in the center. It was just easier that way. Then again, the same thing that I did with the powder. Once it was in the middle, I added some alcohol. I mixed it and added alcohol as needed until eventually I had a very nice consistency paste in the center. And once everything was mixed, I just grabbed my paper towel again and I repressed it. This one ended up coming out a little bit nicer than the powder. And I think just because the paste in the center was a lot wetter and it was just easier to repress. So that's the highlighter right there. And then lastly, moving on to the bronzer. This is very, very little product. Like, it looks just very sad, the amount of product that's in the center. but once I crushed everything up and everything was like powderized in the center, I didn't take much alcohol to wet the whole thing and then bring to the center and then repress it. This is gonna take me no time to use it up. This powder, as it was already, it was very powdery when I used it, so I don't think I'll have a hard time using it up. Then for my experiment, because I was going to finish the bronzer, I was trying to make a bronzer with this color. Now, I did a lot of research online, well, some research online, and when I decided to use this as a bronzer, I was kind of researching what colors I could make out of using purple. And it said that yellow and purple made brown. So I decided this is kind of like a purpley color. Maybe I can make a bronzer out of this. So that's why I only used half of the pan, because I didn't want to completely mess everything up and just trash everything. So I added half of it. Now I realize this isn't like purple, it's more of a lilac-y color, and it's very metallic. So maybe that's what one of the issues was. Because spoilers, this didn't come out very well. But I did add some yellow not yellow highlighter, yellow eyeshadow onto here. And I was adding little by little. I didn't want to add the whole pan of yellow highlighter, so I just added a little bit more. And then the purple one, just because I figured the purple is a darker color and it just needs like more of a lighter color to lighten the darker, if that makes sense. So I added the alcohol, and once I mixed it, I kind of noticed that it was looking very yellow. It wasn't, at least, I mean, it doesn't look like this on camera, like when I was looking at it. It looks okay, like maybe I should have gone a little bit more of the yellow, but in person when I was looking at this, it was still looking very purpley. So I wasn't convinced with my mixing ratios, if you want to call it that way. So I went ahead and I decided to add a little bit more of I think I added some brown, because to me it was looking just too yellow. And I added the brown from the Bare Minerals palette, which I think that's where I went wrong, because it's a very dark and cool toned brown. I should have gone with a warmer toned brown, because it just kind of like binded to the purple, the coolness of the purple shade instead of the warmness of the yellow shade. So mixing and trying and error, I added more yellow. I added even some white because I noticed that it was getting really dark. So I added the white, and it just looks like a dark muddy mess now. So unfortunately, I think adding that brown, cool toned brown shade messed everything up, and I wasn't happy with the results. So I am back, and the lighting is completely different because I completely forgot about this video. I was letting everything dry, and I just completely forgot to finish the finale portion of it. So I apologize, but I am back nonetheless. So on the bottom here are the 3 products that I needed to repress, and this is what they look like. This is the bronzer. It has very little product left. I think maybe a week, if that. No more than 2 weeks for sure, and then I'll be done with this, and I'll be done with this bronzer from this palette. So that's this one. Then the highlighter, unfortunately I broke the packaging, but that's what I have here. It looked like it was a lot more, but once I repressed it, obviously it's very little, and I feel like there's not a lot of product in here. Like, it's not very thick. So I'll give you guys a swatch. That's my highlighter. Of course, it's a very heavy swatch. Once you blend it out, it looks very pretty, I think. I love it. So that's this guy. And then the powder seems that I repressed it. I didn't have enough alcohol in it. As you guys can see, it's cracked once it dried. And to me, that's a sign that the product was kind of dry when I repressed it. I should have added a little bit more alcohol. It's still usable, but I just aesthetically it doesn't look as pretty and as well pressed as the other 2 products that I had. So yeah, I'll still use it. Again, it's very little product here. I'll probably use it within the next week, and then that'll be done. So that's this one. With my Franken product, It didn't come out as I wanted it to. It didn't matter how much stuff I mixed into it, it still looked very purple. Now, I was trying to make a bronzer. I don't remember if I mentioned that, but it still looked very, very purpley. However, once I do a little swatch, it's not very pigmented, and I'm very disappointed. I feel like it's lost all its color. It looks like a bruise. So I don't know how I'm gonna be able to use this. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if I'm just gonna trash this and count my losses with this. I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm just very disappointed with the color. So yeah, maybe, I mean, I'll try it on the face, see how that looks. But if it completely looks like it, I mean, my gosh, no, it looks like a bruise. It looks like I hit myself. Yeah, so that was a total fail. So yeah, sometimes when you Franken stuff, it works. Sometimes obviously it doesn't. And yeah, so that's that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little experiment, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.